I set the roses on the bed. 12 deep red petals, vibrant against the white sheets, one for every year we'd spent together. Beside them, a letter. Handwritten, thoughtful. The kind of note that, in another life, might have been filled with love. Then, I walked out. Not forever, just for long enough to let her wonder. To let her feel a sliver of the uncertainty I had endured for months. Because tonight, while she read my goodbye, I had an appointment. With him. And by the time I was done, that smug smile of his would be gone. For 12 years, Sarah and I had built a life together. We weren't perfect, no one is, but I loved her. I worked hard, came home on time, and made sure she never wanted for anything. She was my best friend. My person. The one I thought I'd grow old with. Lately, though, something had changed. The subtle things at first, her late nights, the sudden interest in her phone, the distant look in her eyes when I spoke. I wanted to believe I was imagining it. That stress, routine, or life had just made things stale. But deep down, I already knew. And soon, I'd have proof. It started with a scent. She came home late again, and as she leaned in to kiss my cheek, I smelled something unfamiliar. A cologne I didn't wear. I didn't say anything. Not yet. Over the next week, I became an observer in my own life. I noticed her unlocking her phone away from me, tilting the screen when a message came through. The way she'd laugh softly at texts, biting her lip, lost in thoughts that didn't include me. Then came the lie. "I'm staying late at work," she said, avoiding my gaze. Except her boss had already mentioned at a company dinner that the office was closing early that Friday. So, I followed her. And just like that, the foundation of my life collapsed. She wasn't at work. She was at a hotel. Room 618. With him. A man I didn't recognize. A man who, at that moment, had no idea his world was about to shatter. Betrayal is a strange thing. It doesn't hit all at once. It creeps in slow, insidious, until it fills every empty space inside you. That night, I didn't sleep. I lay in bed next to her, staring at the ceiling, listening to her breathe. My wife. My partner. A woman who, just hours ago, had been in another man's arms. The rage came next. The kind that burns cold, that sharpens you instead of blinding you. I could have confronted her then and there. Yelled. Demanded answers. But I wanted more than an argument. I wanted to take something from them. Something they couldn't get back. So I planned. I found out who he was. Michael Carter. Married. 2 kids. An up-and-coming executive at a major firm. A man with everything to lose. And I was about to make sure he lost it all. The first move was simple. I waited. I let them think they were safe. Then, I sent the pictures. Anonymously, of course, just a few carefully chosen snapshots to his wife. Him and Sarah, hand in hand, slipping into their little hideaway. The way his hand rested low on her back, his lips brushing her ear. She didn't respond to my message. But 2 days later, I heard from a mutual friend that Michael's wife had taken the kids and left. One down. Next, I made sure his company got an email detailing his extracurricular activities with a married woman. It wasn't just about the affair. Michael had been using corporate accounts to fund their little getaways. By the end of the week, he was suspended. I waited for the panic to set in, for the cracks to show. Then, I made my move. I invited him to meet. An anonymous message, just a time, a place. A quiet bar downtown. The kind of place where secrets could be spilled without anyone caring. He showed up, looking rattled but trying to mask it with confidence. That smug arrogance, like he still had control. Like he could talk his way out of this. "Who are you?" he asked, voice steady but eyes darting. I slid a drink in front of him. Sit. He did. I let the silence stretch, watching as his fingers tapped anxiously against the glass. Then, I leaned in. You know who I am. Realization flickered across his face. His smirk faltered. You. I nodded. You've been busy, Michael. I took a sip of my drink. Your wife. Your job. Must be tough. His jaw clenched. If you think you can threaten me. I chuckled. Low. Controlled. I don't need to threaten you, I said, leaning closer. I've already taken everything. His breathing quickened. What do you want? I pulled out my phone, tapped the screen, and turned it toward him. A video. Of him and Sarah. Crystal clear. Undeniable. His face drained of color. I gave him a choice. You walk away. From her. From everything. You disappear quietly, or this, I gestured to the screen, goes viral. His hands clenched into fists, his arrogance finally crumbling. You can't. I can. And I will. He knew it, too. Because I had already done worse. I left him there, staring into his glass, defeated. But I wasn't done yet. I went home that night, where Sarah was waiting. She had read the letter. Her eyes were red. Please, I can explain. I let her talk. Let her beg. Let her spill excuses and regrets and apologies that meant nothing. Then, I smiled. You don't need to explain. I handed her the divorce papers. She froze. Wait, we can. No. My voice was calm. Final. We can't. Because she had already lost me. And tomorrow, when Michael realized his career was beyond saving, when the weight of his ruined life finally crashed down on him, she'd lose him too. I walked out, leaving behind the roses and the ashes of what we once were. I stood outside, breathing in the cold night air. 12 years. Gone in an instant. And yet, I felt lighter. Because this wasn't just an ending. It was a beginning. Mine. Some betrayals don't deserve forgiveness. They deserve consequences. And I had delivered them perfectly.